Now let's point it a little bit away from the light. It still somehow seems to make its way to the light. We pointed it more to the right of the light, and now it's correcting and going to the left. Well, hello all. In my last project I said how much fun you can have with a Pi Pico, a motor driver, and a geared motor. Here's our geared motor. As you can see here, there are two motors. Our motor driver can luckily drive both of them, and we're going to, like a tank, we're going to drive only each side at a time. So this little car is going to drive like this. And so left wheel forward, then right wheel forward, left. So it's going to, like a big, strong little motor robot. And as it goes, it's going to look first to the left, to the right side, then it's going to look to the left. And whichever side it's looking at, it's going to check the ambient light. The next thing I do is I take one of these connectors, I take out the copper insides, and we're left with, I'm going to put the light dependent resistor that is going to pick up the reflected light. So there is our light dependent resistor, and there are the wires coming out the back. To hold everything in place, I'm just going to put a dab of glue on all these leads. It also stops them shorting out. Now we are going to glue our sensors to the front of our little buggy. Notice how our buggy always goes towards the light. Now let's point it a little bit away from the light. Still somehow seems to make its way to the light. We pointed it more to the right of the light, and now it's correcting and going to the left. For those of you interested in the Thonny program, here it is. You can always look at it at your own leisure. So we have 4 routines: left motor forward, right motor forward, left motor stop, right motor stop. Here's our main loop. And we stop the right motor. Now we move the left motor. We move it 4.8 of a second, then we take an analog digital reading as the buggy is pointing to the right. Remember, the left motor turns the buggy to the right. If the light is greatest from the right, we want the left motor to turn a little bit more, a little longer for 0.3 seconds, it increases the turn to the right, and then we stop the left motor, and we do the same with the right motor. So there is our program for those of you who are interested in our program. It's considered super uncool to love yourself, but we are told to love others as we love ourselves. So how can we love others as we love ourselves if we don't love ourselves? And as I say, it's real super uncool and often considered unchristian to love yourself, but I really like some aspects of my personality. I started making this buggy this morning. I can't tell you how many stupid problems I had, mostly putting components into the wrong holes, the wires into the wrong holes. I did everything wrong. I started early this morning and it is now nearly midnight when it finally works perfectly. So I just thank the good Lord that I am a wonderful tortoise, not a hare. And what I lack in brains, I make up for in persistence. And I must say, as a science teacher, I really admire those kids who have persistence. I mean, they're kids with brains to spare, and they don't use them. They lack the persistence, the stick-to-itiveness to just work your way through the hard times. So I am just super chuffed that at least I finished the day with this working. There was a time in which I thought this would never work and I studied the program. Even the program was wrong and it was a bit complicated. And you just make one mistake and the buggy kept heading away from the light. And now finally it's now seen the light and it's heading towards it. So I think it's a great thing to love yourself at times.